Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom, and in this video we're going to talk about an interesting subject. Well, we're going to come to Seuss, Dr. Seuss, also known as Theodor Geisel, probably mispronouncing his name. Seuss was German, or apparently it was pronounced Zeus or Sus. But he did go by Seuss later because it was rhymed, at least according to Wikipedia, it rhymed with Mother Goose. Now, at the time of this video, there's been a lot about him in the media because publishers have decided to stop publishing a couple of his books that show anti-Asian influences. Now, this was the belief back during World War II. So is Seuss guilty of being against Asians? Yes, to a point. But once again, we were fighting the Japanese during World War II. The entire country was practically against the Japanese at the time. And he did change his views. This is the big thing. And I probably mentioned this when I talked about my more modern classics with Seuss. Is Seuss changed. He changed his mind after the war, and he grew to realize that no, this was a bad idea. We shouldn't be hating on these people. So from my viewpoint, the taking down of these books would actually make Seuss happy because he changed. He wrote other books. He evolved with the times. So the removal of, in fact, his first book, which let me pull it up. I actually do not, of the books that they recently pulled, I own 2. And it was not his first one. I have the Wikipedia page up here, so I'm going to scroll down here. And to think I saw it on Mulberry Street. That is one of the books that was pulled most recently. The other one was If I Owned a Zoo. We do own that book. I think I owned it. I think it was mine. We looked through it when my daughter was baby and we're like, no. Nope. And it ended up here in our office because I didn't know quite what to do with it. The other one I actually didn't entirely notice because it's very whimsical. And in fact, I have it here and it's Miguel Pool. So this is one of the books that was pulled. I honestly didn't realize it until you stop and think and look at some of the badly Asian drawn characters here. Let's see if I can pull it. See if I can find them here. It's very interesting. It talks about fish, so it's far harder to tell if you're not OSA because they're fictional fish. And I'm running out short on here. Let's see if I can find it further in the back of the book. But no. But again, you see it's very whimsical. So unless you're really looking for it or you're of this culture, it's probably going to be more difficult to notice. But this is one of the books that was pulled. I can thoroughly understand. I don't know if we're going to read this to my daughter or not. It may be something we discuss later when she's a little bit older. But this is not the cancellation, as people say, of entirely Dr. Seuss. Now, some of his books also have some strange concepts, much like that's Seuss for you. Most of his books are very strange, but with some weird morality stuff to them. And the Cat in the Hat and the Cat in the Hat Returns are 2 of them. I mean, if you look at the base of the story, this weird creature breaks into this house and destroys these kids' house, and basically is giving the idea that no, that's a stranger, and you shouldn't be letting him break into your house, let alone destroy it, and not listening to logic. And no, your mother told you not to, destroy the entire house. So we own Dr. Seuss, we own, or the Cat in the Hat. We also own the second one. They were mine. I was diagnosed with dyslexia, so they recommended Seuss, I think because of the rhyming and the sound. So, and I did, in fact, enjoy Seuss. And he does have some other great books. I actually still need to buy some of them, including The Lorax, which is a very good book. The other one, and I'm not going to review that one here, which is The Grinch Stole Christmas. We do own that book. I'm going to talk about that with a Christmas episode. Another great, fantastic too. Horton Hears a Who is actually the book that is basically talking against the occupation of Japan. So that shows that Seuss has in fact changed. A couple of ones that we have that I do enjoy that because they're absolutely hilarious is There's a Wocket in My Pocket, which is talking about various little creatures in this person's house. It's very, very fun. And then another very simple book, The Foot Book. I mean, it's literally just talking about various left foot, right foot, feet, feet, feet. How many feet do you need? It's a fun book. And it's not really racist as far as I can tell. I mean, I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've read through this book, but I do not believe so. The other one that I have is Oh, the Things You Can Think. I love these books. They're fun. They're creative. Do not read them in story times, at least not in public libraries, because one, they're very long, and two, they're Dr. Seuss. A lot of made-up words. You're going to stumble like crazy. And again, more specifically, very, very long. So they're not good for story times. They're not good for kids who have short attention spans. We have a couple of more. We do have Green Eggs and Ham, which again is one of those. I'm not sure this is quite right, considering it's one character trying to force another one to try new food. Now, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? It's kind of questionable, but it's a lot of badgering. So if you think this Sam I Am is harassing this other character into trying new food, and he keeps saying no. So it kind of crosses some harassment lines there. So it's unused. It's an iffy subject. We do own this book. I believe it's still in my daughter's bedroom, but we're not sure if we're going to share that book with her either, as well as both Cat in the Hat books. Again, kind of iffy. The Couple in My Lap, Miguel Got Cool, maybe not. We need to look over it. It's a zoo. I don't know where the heck it is. It's either in this office or we got rid of it already. So I'm not sure. We do have Are You My Mother, which is another popular one, which I believe was my husband's book. So a lot of these we have not bought. I think the only Seuss book I'm planning to buy is The Lorax, which is, again, kind of a morality tale to the extent of let's conserve things. Yeah, nobody's paid attention to that. Obviously, there's been various movies made with Seuss. Most of them are very bad. I'm favorable to The Grinch Stole Christmas, the cartoon, and The Lorax, once again, the animations, which seem to be good. Never saw the film in The Lorax. I've heard it's horrible. The live action, I do love the theme song to it, and it's not too bad. I mean, of all of them, they're probably pretty good. I've not seen any of the other live action. For some reason, one of the YouTubers I watch, that movie chick did a thing on the TV show. Makes no sense. I'm going to agree with her on that from what she described. Yeah, makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It's kind of based using the characters from, I think, Green Eggs and Ham. But again, Seuss's books don't have cohesive stories. They're not supposed to most of the time. They're nonsense. That's the point. They're supposed to be nonsense. They're fun. They're not cohesive in any way whatsoever. In fact, there's very few that actually have a cohesive story. The Three in My Lap most certainly do not. The Cat in the Hat kind of does. Those films I've seen pieces of. They're weird. They're very weird. But of course the story itself is kind of, yeah, again, Cat in the Hat is weird. And not in a good way. So that's kind of my views on Seuss is you don't get rid of all of them. He has a huge book collection. Do we need to go through some of them and weed them out because they're outdated and their views are not appropriate? Yes. But again, from what I've been able to read just simply by looking at his Wikipedia page, Dr. Seuss would be happy about this because he changed over time. That's what makes him different from, say, possibly Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl he denied his anti-Semitism like crazy, so he never grew and changed. Seuss did. And again, he has a huge range of books. They can be great fun reads. I'm not going to link them. Most people know them. The books they're removing, Seuss probably would be happy about because he changed over time. Let me look. Let's see. When did Seuss die here? Let me look this up. I think he died. Look at the Wikipedia page. Yeah, he died in 1991. So he changed over time. He realized some of the anti-Asian sentiments in his book were inappropriate. He just didn't have control to have them pulled. And the publisher is who's pulling them. It's not cancel culture. The publisher is realizing we're going to stop publishing these books because there's a problem with them. And they're probably not going to be as popular. They are keeping a lot more. I think they might be looking at Cat in the Hat. Maybe, maybe not. Once again, they're reviewing the books that they're publishing and trying to move on with the times and pulling books that are outdated and that no longer fit with our understanding of the culture. So this is a good thing. It's a positive thing, particularly since these books are specifically targeted toward young children. We're not talking about getting rid of Huckleberry Finn, which is older teens and adults that can understand. We're talking about children's books. It's like removing people getting mad for getting rid of Little Black Sambo. For those of you unfamiliar, yeah, that's a bad book. And a very outdated book at that. But again, these are small. These are geared toward kids who are probably under the age of 12, who aren't going to be able to understand some more of the advanced concepts. So them removing them is appropriate, and they're not getting rid of them. Nobody's burning books. They're just stopping publishing them. It's like the publishing house is deciding to no longer publish these books. And they have every right to do so. Books go out of publication all the time. This is not an abnormal thing. People, basically, they just stop printing them. So this is not cancel culture. Crazy people think it is. It is simply a publisher making a financial decision to stop printing books that have become questionable. So again, I like Dr. Seuss. A lot of his books are very fun. I do recommend you looking at them and finding books that you enjoy. If they're from your old childhood, and I will say this a lot with some of these old books, read them first. Please read them first. I will do another video on some of them that I bought and realized, oh, well, these are questionable and odd and probably not appropriate. So that is kind of my review of Seuss. I'm going to probably put this both in my modern classics as well as just my general book reviews. So that's it for this. Again, enjoy Dr. Seuss, one of my favorites. I'll bring this up again. There's a Walking in my pocket. I remember loving this book as a child. It's fun and it's hilarious. The Lorax I will probably review in a later review, as well as The Grinch Stole Christmas, which are two of my other favorites, but I don't own the Lorax at this moment. And The Grinch Stole Christmas is a Christmas book and will go with a Christmas review. So that is it for my evaluation of our dear Dr. Seuss. If you like this review, like and subscribe. Thank you.